Hi, I'm Paul with Phishing Quest. If a ransomware attack hits your company tomorrow morning, could you survive it? Not a bounce back, not recovery eventually, survive. Because for 60% of small and mid-sized businesses that get hit, the answer is no. They close their doors within 6 months of the breach. And here's the hard truth. Most of them never saw it coming because it never looked. I'm talking to you, the owner, the executive, the IT decision maker at a company with 50 to 200 endpoints. You run a finance firm, a construction or manufacturing operation, a law practice, a healthcare organization, a municipality. You're exactly the size attackers consider the sweet spot. Big enough to pay, small enough to lack a full security team. Too small to make the news, but not too small to be hacked. And the single most important thing standing between you and catastrophe is something most of our peers still haven't done: a real cybersecurity risk assessment. Let me show you why. Let's start with money, because that's where the conversation always ends up anyway. The average cost of a data breach for a mid-market company hit an all-time high of $4.88 million in 2024, a 10% jump from the year before. That's not an enterprise number, that's you. And it's not just the ransom, it's downtime. Every hour your systems are frozen, revenue stops. Forensics. Incident responders cost 6 figures before anyone even touches your network. It's legal fees, and they multiply with every client, patient, or citizen record exposed. It's regulatory fines: HIPAA, GLBA, state privacy laws, CMMC if you touch defense. It's cyber insurance premium hikes. They renew you at all. And it's the quiet killer: customers who simply stop paying invoices while you're down. The average small or mid-sized business spends nearly $1 million to restore normal operations after a successful attack. And over 80% of businesses that pay a ransom get attacked again. A risk assessment tells you, before an attacker does, exactly where those dollars are going to hemorrhage from. It maps your weak points in plain English, with a dollar sign attached to each one. You can't budget for what you haven't measured, and you can't defend what you haven't mapped. But here's what the financial number doesn't capture, and what every executive I talk to underestimates. Your reputation is a bank account you spent years funding. A breach drains it in a weekend. If you run a law firm, your clients came to you because they trusted you, the most sensitive information in their lives. The moment that information is exposed, that trust is gone. If you run a healthcare organization, patients will forgive a long wait. They will not forgive their medical records on the dark web, and they will tell everyone they know. If you're in finance, one breach notification letter required by law in every state is a referral network working against you for the next 5 years. If you run a manufacturing or construction company, your enterprise clients will quietly remove you from their preferred vendor list. You won't even get a phone call. You'll just stop winning bids. And if you're a municipality, your constituents don't just lose data, they lose faith in local government. That shows up at the ballot box. The financial damage is survivable for some. The reputational damage compounds for years. At Vision Quest, we call it the silent killer, because the gaps that put you out of business are almost never the gaps you think you have. Your IT provider says everything is fine. Your antivirus is green, your firewall is on, you sleep well at night. Then we run the assessment. Here's what we consistently find in companies exactly your size. We find active phishing vulnerability. In a typical engagement, roughly a third of the team opens simulated phishing email. Around 1 in 10 clicks the link. That's a single click away from ransomware in your environment every single week. We find employees already on the dark web, personal emails, work emails, names, phone numbers, addresses, sitting in criminal marketplaces for breaches at LinkedIn, Adobe, LastPass, your bank, your vendors. In most assessments, 30% or more of the team already has credentials for sale. Find compromised passwords still in active use. Real example from a real client. One user's password had been leaked on the dark web, and that exact password, with tiny variations, was being used by nearly everyone in that organization. One leak and the entire company was standing wide open. We find critical vulnerabilities in the hundreds, sometimes thousands. Unpatched servers, end-of-life operating systems, firewalls running their default passwords that anyone can look up in seconds. We find sensitive PII in unprotected places, social security numbers and PDFs on desktops, client financial records in shared folders, patient data and email archives no one has touched in 3 years. And we find active attack traffic from overseas. Reconnaissance from China, Russia, Ukraine, the UAE. probing your perimeter right now, not theoretical, logged. Those are not maybe someday risks. These are live conditions in your environment today. And here's the part most business owners do not see coming, until it's far too late. You think your cyber insurance will save you? It probably won't. Look at your policy right now. Look for two phrases. First, sublimits. Your policy may say $1 million of coverage, but dig in and you'll find each category: breach response, forensics, identity theft, business interruption, has its own caps. 50,000 here, 100,000 there. Your real ceiling for a multi-category incident is a fraction of what you think you have covered. Second, failure to maintain. This is a clause that kills claims. It says, if your systems were not maintained to industry-accepted cybersecurity standards at the time of the attack, the carrier can deny your claim entirely. That's the trap. You pay premiums for years, you get breached. And the carrier's first move isn't to cut a check. It's to send an investigator to see whether your patching was current, whether MFA was enabled, whether your employees had documented security training. A proper risk assessment is not just protection from attackers, it's protections from your own insurance company. It creates the paper trail, the documentation, the benchmarks, the remediation roadmap that proves you are maintaining your environment to a defensible standard. Without that, your policy is worth whatever your carrier decides it's worth on the worst day of your business life. So here's exactly what happens when you engage with Phishing Quest. No guesswork, no templates. A proven methodology refined over 2 decades, built specifically for companies of your size in your industry. It starts with a discovery consultation, in person or Microsoft Teams, where one of our specialists sit down with you to learn your environment from the inside. Your hardware, your software, your network, your integrations, your workflows. We don't assume anything. From there, we install a secure, permission-based remote access tool so our team can safely scan and assess your network. Nothing more, nothing less. Then we run the most comprehensive scan stack in the mid-market, a PII scan that finds every piece of personal and sensitive data hiding in your environment. A vulnerability scan across servers, cloud systems, websites, and endpoints using enterprise-grade engines. A CIS benchmark review that compares your configurations against the global gold standard for secure baselines. A live, unannounced phishing simulation against your team so you learn how your people respond before an attacker tests them. A dark web scan that searches for your credentials, your customer data, and your financial information on the same criminal marketplaces the threat actors shop from. A SaaS perimeter scan that maps every cloud application touching your data and flags the risks you didn't know you had signed up for. And a hands-on equipment and infrastructure evaluation, finding outdated hardware, connectivity bottlenecks, and integration gaps that quietly degrade your security and your productivity. Then we bring it all together in a cybersecurity risk review, a live presentation delivered to your leadership team in person or on Microsoft Teams. We walk you through exactly what we found in your environment, your phishing click rate, your dark web exposure with the actual compromised credentials, the passwords from your team already sitting in criminal marketplaces, still actively in use, your critical vulnerabilities, the sensitive data hiding in the wrong places, the reconnaissance traffic probing your network right now, from where, at what scale. We show you the gaps. We show you the financial and reputational costs of those gaps. We review your cyber insurance posture and flag the clauses that could deny a claim. And we lay out the options for how you want to manage the risk going forward. That's the engagement, that's the deliverable. Nothing more unless you ask for more. This is not a checklist. This is stop threats, stay secure in practice. Here's what changed in the last 18 months. Cyber insurance carriers are requiring documented risk assessments before they were new. No assessment, no coverage, or a premium you can't afford. Regulators are moving. The SEC, HHS, state attorneys general, the FTC, they're all asking the same questions after a breach. When was your last documented risk assessment? The answer, we didn't do one, is now considered negligence. Your clients are asking too. Enterprise buyers, healthcare systems, government agencies, the defense supply chain. They're sending your security questionnaires, and they're walking away when the answers are vague. And the criminals? They've industrialized. Ransomware as a service means someone who couldn't code their way out of a paper bag can rent an attack kit for $50 and come after you this afternoon. The threat scaled up. Your defenses have to scale with it. If you're watching this and you haven't had a formal cybersecurity risk assessment in the last 12 months, or you've never had one at all, That is the single most important item on your desk this quarter. Reach out to Vision Quest. Let's start a discovery consultation, in person or on Microsoft Teams. No pressure, no pitch, just a straight, honest look at where your risk actually lives. Because the companies that survive the next 5 years aren't the ones with the biggest security budgets. They're the ones who knew what to protect and acted before they had to. Don't wait for the breach to find your blind spots. Find them first. Stop threats, stay secure. That's why we exist.